folks. Today on Special Interests with Bob and Donna, we're going to do our second video regarding Norwegian Cruise Line and our cruise from hell on the breakaway which occurred in January 2018. We did another video on this in depth, and I will provide the link for you. But just to give you an idea of how Norwegian Cruise Line nickels and dimes its passengers and clients.
Nickels and dimes
Nickels and
quite
dimes.
accurate.
We came back one evening from seeing one of the shows or dining, I can't remember which, and Bob was in probably a show because Bob was in the mood to have a rum and coke. So he went into the refrigerator, and lo and behold, there's no soda. When we left our stateroom, there were a few cans of soda in the refrigerator.
We didn't touch the liquor. We never do really, and we really don't touch this soda either. We just leave that refrigerator the way we found it. And as we mentioned in the last show, I was pretty sick through that whole trip because the air conditioning, they couldn't shut off. We were in 57 degrees for like 24 hours.
But you can check that out in our other video. It's just mind-boggling. So anyway, I called housekeeping, and Emerson was our point person. He would be making up the room and etc. etc.
The stateroom fellow.
The stateroom. And couldn't get a hold of him, so I spoke to a young lady and I explained the situation, that our soda cans disappeared. So about 20 minutes later, we get a knock on the door, and a gentleman in a nice suit introduces himself as Rodney. He is a supervisor for housekeeping, and he's got 2 cans of soda in his hand. Okay, terrific. All right, they brought the soda up and pretty quickly. However, after he puts the soda down on the counter, he hands us a piece of paper that we have to sign for the soda. So in essence, we have to pay for the soda that's missing and the new soda that's coming. Now, you know, when you go on cruises, and this is true of all cruise lines, that they charge you approximately $2 for a can of soda when they probably buy it for 10 cents. So we said, no, we're not paying for this soda because the refrigerator had soda in it when we left. We come back, it's disappeared. The man is standing there for a good 10 minutes.
10
Am I
minutes.
Right?
10 minutes
Am I
without
right?
exaggeration.
Saying, well, you know, if you don't sign this, then I have to pay for it. I said, well, that's not our problem. So I refused to sign, and Bob refused to sign.
Well, actually, I reached a point after belaboring this for 10 minutes, and he saw that I was sick, and I just wanted my rum coke and relax a little bit and maybe sleep that night. He just went on and on and on with this. I said, okay, I was about to sign off on this, and Donna said, no. Standing on principle.
Standing on principle. It was ridiculous. Now, we're talking nickels and dimes, folks, but this just gives you an indication of how Norwegian Cruise Line operates.
And point being that the fellow probably thought, I'm putting thoughts in his mind, whatever, but probably thought maybe we're the connivers, we're the wise gal trying to beat them out of a can or 2 of soda. We had tried to reach Emerson before calling housekeeping, but he was not available.
Yeah, he was not.
He
was
rarely available for him. Couldn't even get coffee.
That's a whole other story with that guy.
So the point being that you can take it from here, showing that we're not the wise guys. What happened?
Okay,
he
so
finally got a hold. He got a hold of Emerson.
We said to Rodney, "Why don't you get a hold of Emerson? He's got to be somewhere on the ship because we were at sea. We were undocked." So he finally got a hold of him, and Emerson explained to Rodney, the supervisor, that he was cleaning out the refrigerator. Now, mind you, we didn't even go into the refrigerator except to put a glass of water in it. Wasn't dirty.
No,
He
it- no,
cleaned out
spotless.
cleaned out the refrigerator, put the cans of soda on the counter, and inadvertently the cans of soda dropped to the floor, one of them anyway, and it got dented. So instead of replacing the dented can, he took all the soda out and took it with him. But he didn't go down to the kitchen or wherever it is to replace the soda that evening. So there was no soda there.
So at least he told the truth. But, well, it's a fabricated story. But the point being is that they know we're not the wise guys. That Emerson came up with an excuse and admitted taking the soda out. So what about all the other? Were all the other cans dented too? How did we go?
No, it was just the cans of soda, and the liquor was not touched because we didn't touch the liquor. And so now that Rodney knows the story, he said he would work it out with Emerson, so we didn't have to sign for it. So, but of course, you did have your rum and coke, which we did pay for before
But the
before
soda,
disembarking.
the other cans of soda, that all the soda was not replaced, I had to accost him in the passageway, and say, okay, And
So
finally,
you may be saying, well, why didn't you get the free at sea drink package, I believe they call it? Well, it's not free. If you when you book, look very, very carefully to an upcharge. So if you select free at sea, select free at sea and you select, say, the internet, free internet, you look at your charges and you will see that there is a significant charge to the your stateroom booking for the so-called free at sea drink package, depending on how long your cruise is. Ours was a 2-week cruise, so be very careful. I mean, they're very clever about marketing, and kudos to them for that. But they engage in a couple of deceptive practices, and you have to do your due diligence.
Why don't you just reiterate? Now that's nickels and dimes, cans of soda. We're talking chump change. It's even ridiculous too. But friends, acquaintances, and strangers, because I wrote, we also published this. We have the video we're doing now, and the second one, and we had text out there. People are saying, no, you missed the beat, Bob and Donna. Tell them about this. But again, this is chump change. Jump in and just give them a brief business what happened with the dining package.
We selected the dining
this
package.
Was not chump change.
And one of their restaurants is Ocean Blue, which happens to be an excellent restaurant. Even though it was in the free dining package, because it was sort of, I guess they consider upscale, there was an upcharge for that. But I said, well, Bob is a real seafood lover, and this is the cruise that we're celebrating our 70th
birthdays,
our birthdays, our milestone birthdays. I won't share them with you. So we did. So I did it. I said, oh, okay, fine. So we go to dinner, and the young lady is there, and she says, oh, I must tell you. She says, if you pick the lobster special, it's going to be another $20 per person. So that was another upcharge on top of it. And nowhere does it say it on the menu, nor does it say it on their website under frequently asked questions. As I had mentioned in the first video, the question proposed was, are any menu items excluded from the specialty dining package? And their answer, Norwegian's answer, is no. All items listed on the menu are included in the package. They don't go on to tell you that there's an upcharge for certain dishes. So you really, really have to do your due diligence. And I just, to end this here, I just want you to know that we had booked with Norwegian prior to, and we had a wonderful time on the Norwegian Gem. But we had a concierge. Do you remember him?
Yes, of course.
We had a concierge. So if you're going to cruise, it's like living in Manhattan. Either you live opulently in Manhattan or you don't live in Manhattan. It would behoove you to try to, if you can, go a bit upscale where you have an actual point person to deal with the problems that you may encounter. You may not, but you may encounter on your cruise. And that was the mistake that we made. Needless to say, we're not going to cruise with Norwegian Cruise Line because after letters and back and forth and all of that, they didn't refund any kind of money.
And that's their policy, where other cruise lines will reimburse you monetarily if there's an issue. Norwegian strictly does not. Nothing.
They do not.
Nothing.
Okay, just to reiterate, we had shows on local TV here on Long Island, but Bob is going to read something to you so that you know what's happening with our YouTube show.
Okay, our YouTube show is brand new for 2019. For 7 years, we did public access channel, Cablevision channel,
whatever.
whatever
I mean, it was 20 to whatever.
7 years, monthly, every month. We did a show. There were some months that we repeated a show because we were just too busy or there's nothing really exciting to talk about, whatever. But for the most part, we did monthly for 7 years. And on one of the last shows that we did and presented, we were knocked down, we were shot down, and the excuse was, well, this last one, Bob, is too much of a infomercial. And I was nonplussed, and my director, who was shooting the video and shot all these videos with us over the 7-year period, was nonplussed. And what is different that we did? We try to stay away from blatant advertising. In my writing, if I'm doing a review of a product, I try to veer away from blatant advertising. But they felt that this one was powers that be felt that this one was a blatant advertising. And I said, my comeback was, well, it's really no different than the other shows we did. And you early on said, just be careful of that. There was a little bit of an issue. They said, well, you pushed the envelope a little bit on this show. I said, okay, fine. The point that I'm trying to make here is that, the fellow said to us, he said, well, if no one complains, fine. Well, the last show that we did, no one complained because they didn't put it on. They got to us first before they would put it on, and it was a no-go. And we said, well, we said that no one's complaining. Again, I'm reiterating this point. No one's complaining because you didn't put it on. So put it on, and in the future I'll try to be very careful of No, they wouldn't do it. As a matter of fact, there was a little testiness on that end, and at my age, we don't play games anymore. That's it, fine. It was a blessing in disguise because we went for, let's say, 5 of those 7 years, we reached, you can help me out here, in Suffolk County from Greenport to...
really Orient to Wading River, and then on the South Fork
Montauk
to Eastport to Montauk.
Eastport to
but
Montauk.
Now we decided to do the YouTube, now we're reaching the world.
You're missing a beat here. So we went from those 5 years just reaching parts of Suffolk County. We went to reaching all of Suffolk County, and then we went to reaching all of Suffolk and Nassau County. And I don't know, I feel they shot themselves in the foot.
Well, give them a summary of the things that they can expect from us.
So, Again, a blessing in disguise,
Right here.
because now we reach the world.
Right here.
After 7 years presenting our monthly shows on public access cablevision limited to Suffolk and Nassau counties on Long Island, the all-new special interest with Bob and Donna channel now reaches the world. Donna and I give you uncensored opinion and product information. We can give you blatant advertising. Now, when we see a product that we rave about, we're going to let you know really what's perfect. We'll talk about the problems with the product too, as well as telling you the positive points. So, Dawn and I give you uncensored opinion and product information on topics such as fishing. That's a love of our life.
That's our passion.
I wrote a book on that, which was endorsed by Lefty Kreh, world famous fly fisherman, caster, news photographer, news person, and a local fellow. And when we do the book, we'll talk about the
Lefty,
accolades and
great man.
So we give you spin fishings, fly fishing, bait casting. In terms of hunting, I cover shotgun, rifle, muzzleloader, handgun, compound bow, and crossbow. In writing, in terms of writing, I'm an award-winning author, so we'll cover fiction and nonfiction, and getting published, and some other rewards other than monetary that go along with that. And here's a group that Norwegian Cruise Line fits into: con artists and or connivers. Also, we'll be covering the criminal justice system, not putting them in a criminal justice category,
No.
but there certainly are connivers, as I think we posited pretty thoroughly here. In terms of the criminal justice system, you'll find this fascinating. You'll see how it works, and you'll see how it fails. Plus, much, much more, so stay tuned.
Okay, so now you're saying to yourself, well, how does all this happen? We have so many things going on here. Just to give you a little background, I'm a retired educator. That's my accolade. I work for the New York City Board of Education. However, Robert has quite a few credentials. As he said, he's an award-winning crime thriller novelist and outdoors writer. He is a member of the New York State Outdoor Writers Association, the Outdoor Writers Association of America, and we're both very proud members of the Trumansburg Fish and Game Club. Great club.
Central New York,
In
way
Central
up there,
New York.
far
when we
cry
take a
from
trip.
Riverhead,
Yes.
where we're presently
And
residing.
he also received the Lifetime Achievement Award for his fiction and nonfiction from the Marquee Publication Board of Who's Who in America. So, and I must say that whatever Bob does, the research is thorough, so you can expect the truth, the way it is, and you can take it or leave it. But we would like you to subscribe so that you are aware of the different topics that we will be covering. And we thank you for watching Special Interest with Bob and Donna. Have a great day.
Thank you.